All right, so I saw Oppenheimer the same weekend it came out as Barbie, and I realized I never really made a review about it because I just don't have positive feelings about the movie. And the movie has like 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, like 94 audience score. Everybody fucking loves this movie and think it's like the greatest thing ever. And honestly, I don't think it's as good as Dunkirk, and I didn't like Dunkirk that much. At least Dunkirk had some action to it. You know, it's a Nolan period piece set during World War II. And it has some action, so that's good. This Oppenheimer movie, it's nothing to it really, and it's way too long, like 3 hours, way too much for this fucking movie. I was bored out of my mind, and that has never happened to me on a Nolan film. Christopher Nolan, one of the greatest directors living. This is his first like boring film. I can't imagine rewatching this film. I've only seen it once. And I have no desire to go back to the theater and see it. I have no desire to rewatch it over every other Nolan film. Like, you got me fucked up. You think I'm going to watch Oppenheimer over Inception? I'd rather watch Inception for the 200th time than watch Oppenheimer again. I don't know if that's mean, but like, that's just the reality. That's how I'd rather spend my time. Because Oppenheimer was just that boring. I was struggling to stay awake while watching the film. That's never really happened to me on any Nolan film. And I'm a history buff. This is right up my alley. I'm a big history fan. Christopher Nolan is amazing. He's my favorite director. One of my favorite directors of all time. He's up there. Up there with names like Ridley Scott, Steven Spielberg, David Lynch, David Fincher, Christopher Nolan. His name is up there with everybody. And I love history, especially American history and like wars and stuff like that. I've researched all the battles and stuff like that. And that's what kind of disappointed me about Dunkirk was like the action and the battles wasn't really true to life because he wanted to stay so practical. He wanted to use real things, not use a lot of CGI. So in that process, he's sacrificing like what it actually looked like back then. And when you're like a big history fan like me, like little details like that really matter. And in Oppenheimer specifically, the actual footage of the bomb he shows exploding doesn't really look anything like the atom bomb, in the stock footage that we've seen. And that's hella annoying. Yeah, it's hella annoying. Because you could recreate that bomb so easily today. And make it look like one-to-one, like actual. You could actually take the stock footage and just like CGI it up, you know what I'm saying? Make it look real polished and just show that. And that would look better than what Christopher Nolan showed in Oppenheimer. And that's what the whole movie is built up to. It's the climax. And it's a climax that happens like at the 2 hour mark. And you have a whole other fucking hour of this movie before it ends, which is nonsense. The movie should really end right when Oppenheimer gives the speech saying the world is forever changed. That's where it should fucking end. But instead, you get an hour of like, is he a communist or not? Which I don't give a fuck about either way. Most people today don't give a fuck about it either way. But you do get that good scene with Truman and Oppenheimer in the Oval Office, and Truman calls him a pussy as he's walking out. And, I always agreed with Truman because he's right. Oppenheimer comes into the White House to talk to Truman, and Oppenheimer's all sad because, am I responsible for killing all these people? And Truman looks at him and goes, you fucking pussy, I'm the one that made the call. Like, I'm the one that told him to drop the bomb. You didn't do shit. You just made the bomb. And you could understand Truman's frustration with that and why he would call him a pussy. We need a movie about fucking Truman, not fucking Oppenheimer. Truman's the one that had to make the decision, yo. He's the one that's got to live with killing hundreds of thousands of people. And he's going to deal with somebody in his Oval Office that's like, oh, I feel bad too. It's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm the one that made the decision. I'm the one that dropped the bomb. I'm the one that's got to live with it. And for me, that's a way more interesting take on that situation. And why is Oppenheimer rated R? One sex scene where you see some titty. Like, literally, Nolan could have cut out that one scene. Nothing really changes about the movie. You could have a PG-13 movie where sex is implied and not explicitly shown. Because, the R rating just puts a barrier on it for people to watch it. And, that's just a whole different conversation. It's a whole different discussion about films and filmmaking. And, should things be more appropriate for all audiences so the movie can see as many eyeballs as possible? Or do you just make whatever the fuck you want and it gets whatever rating it wants, and you go from there? I could see arguments for both sides of that. But, that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Oppenheimer. Cillian Murphy does do good. He is great in the movie. I just love watching Cillian Murphy act. I've always loved him in Sunshine and 2 weeks later. What's that movie called? 3 weeks later? I forget what the fuck it's called. 2 days later. The zombie film. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's a great Cillian Murphy movie. I would not watch this Oppenheimer movie again. I'd rather watch those Cillian Murphy movies again. And, not every movie's got to be perfect or amazing, but, this is fucking Christopher Nolan we're talking about. He's making a movie about the atom bomb, the creation of the atom bomb. It should be way more interesting than this. This is the guy who made Inception, Dark Knight. Like, these are movies that are fucking legendary. Like, bad Christopher Nolan movies are movies like Insomnia. Those are considered bad. If any other director made a movie like Insomnia, it would be the greatest fucking work, I watch the film, I see the film, and I don't even think that would help a no-name director. I feel like if some no-name director made Oppenheimer, they would never get another film again. How much money it cost to make? Just look at the movie. It should not cost $100 million to make Oppenheimer. Half the scenes, more than half the scenes, I would say like probably 80% of this movie is shot in like rooms that they can build on a set. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have to rent out spaces or anything. Literally, majority of this film could be on a set somewhere, on a stage. And it just shows, can Christopher Nolan, does he know how to spend money on a film? Like, why are you wasting money like this? And then you look at a movie like Dunkirk, where he didn't spend a lot of money on that, and it shows. But in Oppenheimer, he spent $100 million on Oppenheimer, and I can't see it. I'm like, what did you spend money on other than casting? Matt Damon and all these fucking Robert Downey Jr., all these fucking guys in this movie that cost a shit ton, probably. That's what you wasted the budget on? I will never remember, Robert Downey Jr. in this role. Robert Downey Jr. in Zodiac was better than this. Hands down. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Better. Was he in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? I'm pretty sure. He's better than that. But, that's my thoughts on Oppenheimer. Was the score good? Yeah, I can't remember. I can't tell you what the score was. With the musical score, I can't tell you what the fuck it was. It was just a lot of womp, 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 bombs coming, and then bomb blows up. That's essentially your musical score for Oppenheimer. And it's, it's very disappointing for me. It's Christopher Nolan. I want the movie to be fucking amazing. It's a period piece. I love period pieces. I love World War II. That's like my favorite era. So much good stuff you could do. And this is what we spent $100 million on. 3 hours of this. 3 hours. That's, that's probably the editor in me. That's just like, God, we can cut an hour out of this film easy. Probably almost 2 hours. I would cut off the first hour, and I would cut off the last hour, and you'd be left with 1 hour. It'd be like a little 3-part miniseries. That's what my cut of the Oppenheimer would be. Because, God, the movie doesn't really start until Matt Damon gets there. Once Matt Damon gets there, that's when the movie starts. And it's like, all right, we're going to assemble a team to create the bomb. And boom, there's your movie. There's your movie right there. It's Avengers for a nuclear bomb. That's what the fucking movie should have been. Just a huge missed opportunity. Because once Matt Damon comes in, the movie really does start. And you actually get invested. And the second he's not there anymore, it's like, I could give two shits. I could care less what's happening. Cillian Murphy's a great actor, but Oppenheimer himself is not that interesting. Who do I care who he's fucking? I don't. What do I care if he's a communist or Democrat? What does that even matter? Especially in today's modern era where that shit doesn't matter at all. It's not even a thing anymore. Feels a little bit like propaganda. I heard somebody commenting, talking about that, how it does feel like propaganda. And I gotta say, yeah. I mean, it is very like, yay, we made the bomb. We beat the Nazis. That's another thing the movie really should have been about. Is the race we had with the Nazis to build the A-bomb. Like, that is exactly what they should have did more of. And how, we got to the atom bomb and then we realized, oh, we're 2 years ahead of the Nazis. We're kicking their ass. We didn't know that until after we already had the bomb. And the Nazis lost. And they're like, oh shit, we were 2 years ahead of them? They were never even close. That would be an interesting fucking look at the creation of the atom bomb. But no, I don't know. I gotta hear about Oppenheimer being a communist for 2 hours. Like, it matters. I kind of want to watch the film one more time to see if I was correct. To see if the movie really is that boring. Because I was pretty bored out of my mind. I was struggling to stay up. And it's a Nolan film. That should never happen. That never happened once with Inception. I watched that film 200 times in high school when that came out. I burned that Blu-ray out. I watched it so much. This Oppenheimer movie, I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Maybe one more time, but still, it's a 3-hour commitment. And I'm like, I don't even like the movie that much So why would I rewatch it right now? It's going to have to be like a couple years before I actually go back and rewatch it. I don't know. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Oppenheimer, the new Christopher Nolan film that people are overpraising the fuck out of. Like, it's super boring. Like, how are people staying awake for this? It's fucking wild. Anyway, comment below. Let me know what you think. And I'll get back to you in the next one. Remember to unsubscribe if you don't like honesty. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.